Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. It's Sean from SeanKBeauty, and this is Sean K's Beauty Bar, where we grab from the bar and discuss all things beauty. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do Sean K's Beauty Bar. You leave your questions down below, and I feature them here on my channel at 10 a.m. And on the weekends, like Saturday at 12 p.m., I do luxury makeup tutorials, luxury unboxings, and luxury reviews. So this question is coming from MT Harris. MT has been with me for a while, and the question was about primers. Had I done a video dedicated to primers? And the answer to that is no. I actually talk about primers and touch on it every now and then when I do a foundation review and the purpose of silicone and how it is beneficial, but I never take a deep dive into it. And so the first thing is that a primer consists mostly of wax, silicone, and polymers. Okay, silicone is one that we have seen in almost everything, from your medication to your hair products to your makeup products like your foundations and your primers, etc. So the one thing about silicone where the benefit comes in is it's a breathable occlusive. It does not clog pores. So I want to debunk that myth. Silicone is really good when you're using a glycolic acid or a salicylic acid, something that's very aggressive, to prevent that molecule from aggressively wreaking havoc on the skin. The skin does not like a lot of raw ingredients, so silicone will come in to provide that buffer for you. Okay, so that's it pretty much in a nutshell. Let's talk about how does this actually cling to the skin, because it is different from a moisturizer, and I get that question too. How is a primer different from a moisturizer? One, a moisturizer is made to, absorb into the skin. Silicone based primers, or primers in general, are made to just lay on top of the skin. So they're not penetrating the skin because they're not a small molecule, and silicone is not a small molecule. In fact, it is a big molecule. The bigger the molecule is, the harder it's going to be to penetrate the skin. It's just going to lay on the top of the skin. The next thing I wanted to bring to your attention is opposites attract. So silicones or primers tend to be more positively charged, whereas our face is more negatively charged. So that attraction happens when you put the primer on, and it stays there because opposites attract. Okay, so hopefully I'm not losing anybody anywhere. I just want to give somewhat of a little bit of insight of what a primer is. So do you need a primer? Everything is subjective. It depends on you. If you're looking to fill in pores and fine lines and to blur out any imperfections, then I definitely say a primer is the way to go. Now, primers are not like what they were back in the day. Primers now are coming with a serum feel to them. Primers sometimes have sunscreen in them now, antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. So it's not just your basic polymer, wax, and silicone going into primers anymore. So you have some really great skincare benefits, even sunscreen in primers now, that really does help the skin. However, I still say, when it comes to sunscreen in a primer, you still want to use a sunscreen, because the amount of sunscreen, even though it says SPF 35 or whatever, it's not the true concentration that you're actually going to get on the skin, as opposed to if you just went with a sunscreen from the bottle. Does that make sense? So I definitely say please use a sunscreen even though you're using a primer. Okay, so let's get into some of the primers that I absolutely recommend, that I'm sure some of you have heard before, and maybe there are others that I mentioned that you haven't. So let's get started. Okay, so this first recommendation is the Tatch Silk Canvas. This is a classic, a cult favorite. This one has a silky texture to it. It does have that blurring effect. I used this a couple of times and I fell in love with it. I got a small one that you can buy, but I I really do need to take the plunge and go ahead and get the big one because it's really that good. If you have combination skin, if you have sensitive skin, if you break out easily, this is going to be a really great primer to use. It does not have fragrance, and you can use this after you put on your moisturizer and your sunblock, and just use a pea-size amount right in the T-zone area or where you find yourself being oily, and you're gonna see that your makeup lasts all day or for however long you're gonna be wearing it. Now, this brand has been around for a very long time, and they are known for giving us quality product, but we don't really talk about them too much. And this is Makeup Forever, and this is their smoothing primer, one that a lot of makeup artists on sets would use on celebrities. This one does not allow for slippage. Okay, if you are one with rough texture or you're looking to minimize the appearance of large pores, then I definitely say you want to go with this one. Now, what's important though is knowing how to use your primer. I know we see something in a tube and we just feel, squeeze it in your hand, rub it on your face, but this is different. You actually want to warm this up in the hands, press it into a clean face, and then go into applying your makeup. We tend to just think, oh, it's self-explanatory, I should just do it this way. But there are times when we don't pay attention on how to apply our foundations or our primers to get the best results, and then we're not so happy. So it's those simple instructions that can actually make a world of difference. Okay, so this next product is for those of us who have normal skin. You're not too oily, you're not too dry, and you don't necessarily need a primer. You can go with oil-free products. You can go with something that is not too heavy. And for those situations, I definitely recommend the Kiehl's Ultra Facial. This is reasonably inexpensive. It gives you hydration and there's no greasiness involved. And it is fragrance-free. This one I actually use under my makeup and I absolutely love it. And if you have normal skin, you would love it too. If you don't want to go the primer route, then I would definitely opt for this. And I will leave the link to everything down below. All right, friends, this next one is the Clarins Smooth Instant Perfecting Touch. This one works really great on mature skin, areas that have crow's feet, deep wrinkles, large pores. You definitely want to go after this. It retails for about $39. Again, I will leave the link to all of these down below. I pray you guys shop my links because it really does help me. I actually need to get lights. As you all can see, my lights are not all that fantastic. But this actually works really well on mature skin. What you want to do with this primer is that you want to spot treat the area. So don't go in and just use it everywhere. I would definitely just go in those areas where there's the crow's feet or the deep wrinkles or the large pores. In those areas, go ahead and use your primer, because with this, again, a little bit goes a very long way. So as you can see, the application on how to use these primers do differ from one primer to the next, and also based off of your skin type. All right, friends, so let's talk about a primer for dry skin. When you have dry skin, you have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles. It seems more pronounced, especially when you have dry skin. So the one thing we want to go after is a primer that's going to bring in a plumping effect to the skin and definitely going to fill in those lines and minimize the look of texture. And one of those primers is the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. This one also has anti-aging ingredients, really great antioxidants like your vitamin A, C, and E. It has hyaluronic acid, and as we know, hyaluronic acid just brings in all that moisture from the atmosphere onto the skin. So you definitely want to go after something like this if you are a dry skin type. All right, friends, so this next primer is the Too Faced Hangover Primer. OMG, we have heard it all through the beauty community here on YouTube, but it actually works. From a lot of my friends that use this, I only hear great reviews and them raving about this product. I personally can't use it because it has coconut water in it. So if you're allergic to coconut, then definitely I would say stay away from this. However, there are others that aren't, and it makes their skin look beautiful. If you have severely dry skin and you need that revived look to your skin the next morning, if you're really looking for that hydration to be locked in underneath your makeup and your makeup to last all day, then I would definitely say this one is the way to go. It's going to fill in the fine lines, it's going to smooth out texture, and it's going to blur out any imperfections. The Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. Oh my goodness, I remember when I used this some time ago. This is really great for those with dry skin. It has hydroplex extract that brings in that moisture to the skin. It also has a cooling effect, but this definitely will fill in those fine lines. It will smoothen out the skin surface imperfections and definitely will help that makeup to last all day. I would say the cult favorites in the beauty community on YouTube is the Too Faced primer, Hangover primer that I mentioned. It's also the Tatch Silk Canvas. It would be this Smashbox, and there's also the Milk Hydro Grip. We hear about that one a lot, and this one you can find at your nearby Sephora. Now this one is definitely for those with the fine lines, the wrinkles, the pores, the texture issues that really want to bring about that blurring, that hydration, the plumpness to the skin, the healthy glow or healthy look to the skin. The one thing about the Hydro Grip, it is for those with normal or dry skin, and you definitely want to let this sit for about a minute before you go in with your makeup. So, and that is exactly what they instruct for you to do when using this, because it's more like a gel-like texture to it. So you want to give this time to at least sit on the face for a little bit, dry down a little bit before you start going on and putting on your makeup. So again, how to apply your primers is definitely going to be key. All right, and MT, you told me you use the Chanel foundation, and I actually reached out to my SA in Miami, and she said that you definitely want to use the Chanel Le Blanc, and this one is really good because it has a blend of different powders. It is oil-free. It is a multi-purpose primer. I definitely say, as much as you can, use products within a line. I mentioned that especially with skincare, and I think you get the best out of it with your makeup as well. Just because when products are being curated in a line by a manufacturer, they're factoring in, if it's a good company, synergy, giving you the optimal performance and measuring the efficacy against one product to the other. So hopefully, MT, this would give you some sort of insight. I definitely recommend also to anybody who has a silicone-based primer to use a silicone-based foundation, and if it's water-based, then definitely go after a more water-based primer as well. The great thing about this primer from Chanel is that it really does fill in the fine lines and the wrinkles, and it gives you this flawless, beautiful finish. I know that a lot of people bragged about the Chanel translucent powders as well. I don't know if the formulation has changed since the years past. I think it has, from my friend Lexi Jong. That's what she said. I'll leave her channel down below. But that powder along with this primer pretty much did the same thing, and I am sure they used some sort of hydrating factor in that powder to really be able to give you that flawless, smooth like finish like you would get with this primer.